So in this video, we're going to be talking about the origins of Sumer, one of the oldest civilizations of the ancient world. And when we talk about civilization, what we're talking about is not just the coalescence of a physical community in one place, but also the things that make that possible and the things that result from it. This is a moment of transformation, the invention of civilization is one of the things that transforms the human experience. One of the key components of this is the agricultural revolution, the Neolithic period, the last great period before civilization, last a few thousands of years of the Stone Age. The Neolithic period is characterized by this drive to surpass a life of mere survival, this drive to provide a way that ensures both a stable present and a prosperous future. And one of the keys to this is the agricultural revolution. The agricultural revolution is not merely the discovery of farming. Farming has always been a part of what is possible for humans to experience. The problem is that subsistence farming, scratching a living out of the soil, is not much of an advance on the hunter-gatherer lifestyle, and has a number of drawbacks that might occur to you if you're barely providing enough food out of the soil to live on, and perhaps not even that. You're trading that in for not having any more sense of security that you're going to survive beyond today. And on top of that, being rooted in one location for others to come and hurt you, or to take your possessions, and to be that much more vulnerable without the option of migrating to where the food is, to the depredations of the natural world, to the destructive power of nature in the form of wild animals and destructive weather and so forth. And so farming isn't the agricultural revolution. The agricultural revolution is developing systems of agriculture involving both planting and the use of domesticated animals that are reliable not merely to provide subsistence, but that are successful enough to provide surplus food, to provide surplus foods to ensure security and enough food to feed those who are not farming, so that a community can develop labor that is specialized, labor that is not bound to the soil. This is what allows societies to develop, to become more complex, to be able to build a future that is prosperous and dependable. One of the earliest examples of this we find in Sumer, at the southern end of what we call Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia is the general term for the land between the rivers. This is what Mesopotamia means. The rivers in question are the Euphrates to the west and the Tigris to the east. Both of these rivers are still there and still flow through predominantly what is now Iraq. But in the ancient world, Mesopotamia is in many ways the cradle of civilization. Not only does Sumer develop here first, but many famous later civilizations, Akkad, Babylon, the Assyrians, and so forth, became prominent here. Control over Mesopotamia becomes vitally important to great empires of later periods, including the Persians and even Alexander invading from Europe. And so One of the many things that helps us to understand ancient civilizations is the impact of geography. The people of Sumer, their culture is very much affected by the environment that they find themselves in, the climate of southern Mesopotamia, and the potency of these great rivers, their capacity to potentially um, uh, um, water that is in dire need in the plains that lie between them, but also to be the deliverers of doom, to be the agents of the destructive power of nature. And so the life-giving and death-giving capacity of the Tigris and the Euphrates come to form the bedrock of how the people of Sumer understand society, and in particular, the memory of a deluge, of a great flood, so destructive, so devastating, that everything that had been built had up to that point was destroyed, and the entirety of society was wiped out and had to be built again. And so, this is a towering monolith in Sumerian culture. It is the representation of the hostility of the world around them, and of the inevitability of death, and the ways in which human endeavor is geared toward providing security, providing stability to the present and the future, in defiance of the destructive power of the wild, of chaos, of the nature, in defiance of the universality of death, as the ultimate representation of the undeniable truth of a hostile and unforgiving world. Within this, as I mentioned in the Gilgamesh video, therefore, we find that the king has a vital role of protecting society, of acting as society's champion, with respect to the destructive power of nature and the potential hostility of the gods. It is the responsibility of the king to ensure that the property of the community is protected, and that all possible resources, all possible things that are necessary for wealth and prosperity are accumulated and attained by the city. This is the king's responsibility. This is what we refer to as the priest king. This is in stark contrast to something we'll see later, the god king, in which the king is an agent of the gods, and his role is to do God's will, the will of the gods amongst mortal beings, and so is a manifestation, a vessel of the divine. So more on that to come. In Sumer, the king is a priest king, is a champion of the people against the hostility of nature and the potential hostility of the gods. As a result, the city-states, the communities that are founded in Sumer are very tightly bound. The connections between their members are vital, because what they have built is so manifestly and permanently on the brink of destruction. What ties together this society is the bonds between individuals, and the physical structures of the city are merely representations of this. And so what we see developing in Sumer is one of the, if not the earliest manifestations of a form of society that persists throughout humanity, but is especially important in the ancient era, the city-state. and the characteristics of the city-state we'll discuss in the next video. So that's that.